Now, several years later, Kevin Durant's decision to leave OKC seems like a wonderful and wise decision. At the time, everyone was on his back. Why are you leaving the OKC? Why are you joining a team that you almost eliminated in the playoffs? You just running to that team to join a championship caliber team so you can easily get an NBA ring. So you can easily get an NBA championship. So you can easily be called an NBA champion. The biggest question was, why are you leaving a great player like Mr. Russell? Why are you going to abandon him? You and he together was like Batman and Robin. You and he together was like peanut butter and jelly. You and he together was like ice and fire. Now, wonderful people of the earth, we see why he left. Because what can Mr. Westbrook really do? Now we see, my wonderful people, that Mr. Kevin Durant, he was the one, he was 99% of the success of OKC and the playoffs. He the one who got them to that NBA Finals game where they lost to the Miami Heat. Now, since he left, all the credit goes to him, and it shows to the world what a phenomenal player he was, because he can take a player who cannot shoot the ball, who only can whose shooting percentage is in the low to mid 30s. He can say, look, I took this player on my back and I took the team to the great finals. Because without Mr. Durant being on the team, what has OKC really accomplished as a team? What team have they put exquisite fear in? Does anyone truly fear Mr. Westbrook? On his own, he may have some accomplishments. I believe on his own, he scored a triple-double for 3 seasons in a row. But could that be because of his selfish nature? Yes, he play hard, I heard. He play hard. But he play hard without, from what I gather, intelligence. Sports players always like to use that adage, go play hard, go play hard. No, they don't do it. You can play hard all you want and still come out a loser. You get me? Still play hard. An elephant can play hard and knock over trees, topple anything in its path, but end up killing itself. A lion can play hard by chasing the gazelle for 10 minutes, overheating itself, and causing itself a stroke. You get my point. What does playing hard mean when you don't have no intellect for whatever sports you're involved in? Like I said earlier, what does the 3 triple doubles per season matter when you can't win round 1 of the playoff? You can't win a playoff series. It means absolutely nothing. Because as so many sports people have said, and so many fans have realized, every NBA game during the regular season is not put on television. They never show every last game, from what I gather, LeBron James play, unless you live in his particular area. You may see other games, but the nation may not see his every game. They don't show when James play against Brooklyn, from what I gather. They don't show when the superstar playing lowly teams like Charlotte. No, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to embarrass Charlotte, but I'm just saying, every team or every player of superstar level, whoever you are, every last one of your games is not televised for the nation. The only time your every game is televised is nationally is when you are in the playoffs. The playoffs is the platform that give you your reputation. What you do in the playoffs is what puts you into, usually 90% of the time or higher, is usually what will put you into the basketball or the sports Hall of Fame. But definitely for basketball, great playoff performances, whether you get a championship or not, to be in the Hall of Fame using the NBA, you at least get out of round one. If Mr. Durant was not there, yes, Mr. Westbrook, he would still get into the Hall of Fame because he put up those 3 seasons of triple doubles. That's okay. The 3 seasons of triple doubles, that's bona fide to get you there, because no one since, I believe, Oscar Robertson made a triple doubles in a season. Michael Jordan, for all his greatness, never made a triple double in one season. Larry Bird, for all his greatness, never made a triple double in one season. Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, and the list goes on and on. None of the great players and the Hall of Fame made a triple-double in one season. So I know a lot of them was close to it. They was not close. Magic Johnson, he probably had 19 points a game, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, or 10 assists. A lot of them was close. Same with Larry Bird, maybe Tim Duncan, maybe some others. So, usually, as I stated earlier, to get into the playoff, you have made a name. To get into the Basketball Hall of Fame, you have made a name for yourself. If you're an NBA player, now overseas, I don't know the criteria for putting the NBA players into the Hall of Fame. I don't know the criteria for putting WNBA players into the Hall of Fame. But I definitely know, at least for basketball, a high percentage of those players in the Hall of Fame, they had outstanding performances in the playoff. Yes, for instance, Charles Barkley, he never won an NBA title, but he has had great performances in the NBA playoff, especially when he went to Phoenix, when he was playing against Michael Jordan, and I believe 1992 in that NBA Final Series. At least Charles was going blow to blow with Michael Jordan. Now, prior to getting into the finals, because I was watching it, the Phoenix Suns, they never experienced winning much. So, like many new teams, during that round 1 of the playoffs, round 2, round 3, most of their opponents put the fear of God in them, because their opponents was winning like game 1 in that Charles Barkley Phoenix beginning era in the playoff. They was since they were so new to playoff success, they were losing like the first game. But they got themselves together, rallied together as a team, and won each of those series to get to that final to face the Chicago Bulls. That what got him into the Hall of Fame. He probably would have still get there if he never made it, but by having playoff success, that made his heart feel more better. He did say, I know what it's like to get to the finals. I do know what it's like to get to the conference finals. So, he don't never have to have his head hung down. But Mr. Westbrook, since his original partner left and faced success, his defeats make Mr. Durant look angelic. It make him look godlike. Because people starting to say now, damn, you can't do anything on your own. You needed Mr. Durant to be here to get further into the playoffs. Without him, a legendary player, what have you really accomplished? What have you really accomplished? Yes, you got an MVP award because you got the MVP award because you made that triple-double. It's not because you make your teammates better. Now, I did hear this year, Mr. Westbrook, he did tone it down a little bit more better. He did become a point guard. He did begin to think about team first, but he could not shoot. He still had a horrible shooting percentage from the 2-point area and the 3-point area. So what he need to do in the off season, instead of trying to bulk up, get tougher and get stronger, which he still need to do, instead of doing lifting weights 5-7 times a week, he need to cut back to 3 times a week and spend the bulk of his time in that gym taking shots. See, he didn't have to worry about it before when Durant was there, because Durant was the team #1 player. And at that time, he wanted to be the best player. And now we see he is not the best player. He's Robin with all of Robin's mistakes. Durant was Batman. He was the one in charge. He was the one who made them advance in games. Whether they choked or not, at least with Durant there, they were winning playoff series. They were putting opponents' backs against the wall. Not so anymore since he left. So, in my conclusion, what Mr. Westbrook need to do, he need to do less weight training, more time in the gym, shooting with coaches, with people who simulate the game situation when he taking shots. That's what he need to do. If you like my comments, please give me a thumbs up. If you had any additional information to add it. If you are on Facebook, Twitter, G+, or any other social media, share my content on there so you can spread it to other people who may not be on this particular video channel. You all have a wonderful day. Give me my thumbs up. Leave your comments. Share. Bye.